All right, folks. You know, as 2016 nears, there's one single issue for me as a voter. There's only one issue that is most important to me, and that is what the candidate believes on illegal immigration. That right now, that is the only thing that matters to me. Here's why. If the person believes in a pathway to amnesty, which essentially means all these people that have come in here and broken our laws, okay, that somehow they should get a pass and that they should be granted citizenship and put on a pathway to get citizenship, while we have, millions of people waiting in line doing the process the correct way to become citizens. They're the fools for doing it the correct way and following the law. But here's the thing. If you allow 15 million people to just, boom, be granted amnesty, what you've done is you've created an entire new voting bloc. And as a conservative, we know that this voting bloc, and let's just face it, the vast majority of people in this country illegally are from south of the border, Central America and Mexico. Now, for those people that want to sit there and say, I'm a racist, you're a hater. Look, I'm all in favor of legal immigration. Period. Legal? You come here legally, everything that this country has is yours. Period. Okay? And racist? Really? What race is illegal? Because illegals come from Mexico and Central America and Russia and China and every corner of this globe. But again, the largest problem is from Central and South America, simply because they share a border with us. Central America, of course, they come right up through Mexico. And Mexico and Central America, they have no problem letting these people come here. Why? Because these are not the best and brightest of their countries. Okay? Let's get this on the table. These are not the doctors and scientists and engineers. These are not the best and brightest of these countries. If they were so salt of the earth type people, that these were the best and brightest, how come all the countries they come from suck? I mean, I don't know any other way to put it, but they're so bad people are fleeing those countries. So how can these people, you would think if these were the best and the brightest and the hardest working, that their countries would be like, no, we want you to stay. You stay here. No, they're like, you're dead weight. You have no skills. Go. You be someone else's problem. That's a simple fact. Now, I'm not saying they don't work hard, but just because you work hard doesn't give you an excuse to break our laws. Period. Now, here's the problem. If you legalize these people, then there's what's called chain migration. Chain migration is essentially this. If you legalize person A, well, then they can sponsor grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle to also come to the United States. So now 15 million could become 30 or 40 or 50 million people. And it is proven that this voting bloc does not, and more than likely will not ever, vote Republican or vote conservative. Ronald Reagan, okay, he's the benchmark of conservatism. In 1986, signed the Simpson-Mazzoli Act, which granted amnesty to 3 million people, but it had border security and worker verification, and it had penalties and fines and things for employers that went out and hired illegals. And look, we all know how that worked out. We got the amnesty, and we got no enforcement. And here's the only thing you need to know. In the 28 years since we passed Simpson-Mazzoli in 1986, how did we get to where we are now that we have 15, 20 million people illegally in the country? What happened? Okay, we keep hearing all these real slick, politicians. Jeb Bush. If it was Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton, I'm staying home. Same thing with Rubio. Republicans, sit your butt at home. Okay? Because all you're going to do is vote for a guy who's going to serve a term. He's going to legalize an entire group of people that would ensure that they'll vote for Democrats over and over and over. And if you like Democrat policies, Go ahead and vote for Obama. Or, if you like Obama policies, go ahead and vote for Jeb. Go ahead and vote for Marco Rubio and any of these others that think that there ought to be a pathway. And this nonsense. Here's when it drives me just freaking bonkers. Is when you hear a politician, and really, politicians really do think you are this stupid. And frankly, I think a lot of Americans are absolutely ignorant of the fact because they just don't care. They have no clue because it hasn't hit them at home yet. But they say, well, first we need border security, and then we can work on a pathway. That is nonsense. This is what you'll get. You'll get a little bit of border security and a false sense of security. And then, boom, then the amnesty comes in. Then the next guy who's president, like Obama, doesn't enforce the law. And that's what Obama's doing. He lies to the American people and he says he's deported more people. No. Every president in the past, a deportation is someone that they take from the interior of the country and remove them. But see, what Obama does is if they're caught crossing the border and he turns them around, he calls that a deportation. No, that's never been considered before. Not until him. It's him cooking the books. He lies to the American people because most of the American people are gullible and ignorant. And I mean ignorant in whatever way you want to take it. Stupid? Fine. Just you don't care? Fine. Don't have time to care? Fine. It's still ignorant. So that's what they're counting on. They'll sit there and they'll use this line. Oh, hang on. I got to pull it up because I don't want to misquote George Bush here. Bear with me. Here it is. I've never felt like the sins of the parents should be ascribed to the children, said Bush in 2013. If your children always have to pay the price for adults' decisions they make, how fair is that? Okay? Now, guys, I want you to think about this for a minute. Say you got a nice guy. Say you have a dad and he works hard. And, say you have a mom and a dad. And let's just say, dad takes care of paying all the bills. And he just decides, you know what? I'm fed up paying taxes. I'm tired of paying so much of my paycheck that they take from me and they redistribute it to these people who sit on their butts and make babies and just they're just a ward of the state. I'm tired. I'm not going to pay taxes anymore. I'm done. I'm not paying them. Okay? Well, the government will catch up with them. And what's the government going to do? They're going to come in. They're going to audit him. They're going to seize his assets and freeze his bank account and his children. They could come in and seize his home, his cars, his belongings. And now his children, American citizen children, are going to pay the price for what the adult did. Now, let me ask you, how can Jeb Bush square doing that to an American citizen, not paying his taxes, and punishing the children by taking essentially the life that they know? How come my government will do that to American citizens, but somehow people who have come here illegally are exempted from that? I mean, answer yourself that, okay? It's, look, some kid who was brought here at 2 years old, I get it. They don't really have a choice. But you know what? His parents are the ones to blame, not the United States. When did following the rule of law fall out of style? I mean, we all have to abide by laws. I mean, and here's the other thing. You can't just round up 12 million people. Well, you know what? It took 28 years to create the mess we got. It may take 28 years to fix it, but that's what the law says we have to do. As Americans, we all live by laws. Could you imagine if all the law enforcement agencies came out and said, well, geez, we can't catch every drunk driver, so we're not going to enforce drunk driving laws. Or if 11 million of the top taxpayers in the country came out and said, we're not going to pay taxes. Do you think the IRS is going to say, well, we can't round them all up, so we're not going to round any of them up. I guess we'll just have to give them tax forgiveness. Do you think that's going to happen? No, but that's what they do to the American citizen. You folks, you're nothing but a resident in the United States. You don't really have citizenship anymore. People coming across the border illegally are given more rights than you are. So Come this election, I want you to seriously consider this. And I hope you call your politicians and you call your congressmen and you write the White House and you do whatever you got, because this is about one single issue, illegal immigration. If they are not tough on that one issue, I won't vote. I don't care if Hillary Clinton gets elected. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I don't care because, frankly, there's not a dime's worth of difference between a Jeb Bush and a Hillary Clinton when it comes to the major policies. Do not vote for Jeb Bush. We don't need another Bush. George W., there were a lot of things that, I liked about the guy. He's a very personable guy. And I think, he was a decent individual. But you know what? Simply based on his position on illegal immigration, I actually said that I favored him being impeached based on his lack of border security. He is to uphold the laws of the United States and protect us from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Okay? I could go on and on about this, but, and here's the other problem. You can't have this open border policy like we have now, essentially, in a welfare state. Because, and I guarantee you, once these illegals are given legal standing in the United States, they're not going to be that cheap labor anymore. Now all of a sudden, hey, we want our welfare. Come on, give us some sugar. Come on, Uncle Sugar. Come on, President Sugar, give us ours. Okay? And these people are going to vote for the same people that are going to give them the sugar. Look, Reagan granted amnesty. George H.W. Bush, Bob Dole, George Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, none of them have gotten a majority of this Latino vote. None of them. That tells you exactly what's going on, and that's going to be a 70% reliable Democrat voting bloc. That's why you see such a huge push for this. And this nonsense about us needing high-tech workers, bullcrap. What is it? 2 out of 3 people in these high-tech fields, American citizens, don't even have jobs in that field? What? Bill Gates, Mr. Billionaire, I've got mine. He's running around saying he's for, a pathway to citizenship, amnesty. And he's well, we need more tech workers in the high-tech field. Yet Microsoft is running around laying thousands of people off. I mean, this is the absurdity of these people. Look, we have plenty of our own poor people. We don't need to import the world's poverty in this country. All Obama's doing it's called income redistribution. That's what he's doing. And he's doing a great job of it. He's taken from the people who have worked to achieve something and given it to people that achieve nothing. So folks, please pass this video on. Get involved. Don't wait until an illegal takes your job to start caring. Hey, something else too. Just, and I don't know if you Americans know this. Of course, we all know about Obamacare and what kind of train wreck that is and how that's affecting a lot of employers. But did you know that illegals are exempted from Obamacare? Now, here's what's interesting. Speaking of that, how can they be exempted from Obamacare when they go get a job when the law that was passed in 1986, the Simpson-Mazzoli Act, which was amnesty and all this border security, and how is it that they're exempt from getting something that they should never even be considered having to get because they shouldn't be getting a job in the first place because the law says they're not allowed to have a job? If that doesn't show you... let me just go off on a tangent. This gal for Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, she said that illegals have a right to work in the United States. How do you have a right? And this gal is going to be the chief law enforcement officer. How do you have a right to work in the United States if the law, which she is supposed to enforce, says employers get fined and penalized for hiring illegals? How do you square that? That's all you need to know. We don't need more laws. Tell the Senate to shut up. We don't want your amnesty bill. It's 750 pages. There's nonsense in it. You can't deport an illegal at night. You have to deport them from the port or from the area of which you caught them. I mean, this is what's in the Senate bill. I mean, this is how not, and then essentially you have to get the illegals' permission to let them know you're going to deport them. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have laws. We don't need more laws, and the laws that we have aren't being followed. So there's no point in passing more. Folks, get involved. You know, just tell the noise on the left, Obama and all these left-wing, MSNBC and PMS, LSD and CNN and all these crazy loons on the left, these pro-amnesty type people, ignore them. You know what's right. And most Americans have no problem with people coming to this country legally. And as most Republicans, are totally in favor of legal immigration. You do that legally, all the blessings and liberties, and opportunity that the United States have is at your disposal.